guys, today is the 4th of September 2025. Like I said, I'm recording this program. I don't know how long I'll be recording this programs for. And today I wanted to talk about another conversation from LinkedIn. And it's by Danny and Sweet. He's in my first line of people I'm signed up to. I probably tried speaking to him when I was trying to find investors for my energy project. Uh, for those who are interested in that, you can actually take a look on my YouTube channel, which is Solar Electricity in Your Backyard 24/7. Right, there's a link to an American company who's already does something similar. Okay, I hope you can hear me. Anyways, something Daniel Sweet had written, and we the conversation afterwards. And I was thinking about, well, okay, cool, I want to write a lot. And then I understood that to really unpack this whole thing, I'd have to write a lot. And I'm talking a lot. And you know what? I want to unpack that thing. I really do. Okay, guys, I really do want to unpack that thing because, like, these people are so full of shit. I know I'm very I probably sound more emotional than I usually am, but it's not just Daniel. It's the whole fucking premise of this imbeciles, really, and they write this dumb fucking shit on a public forum and they're smug about it. Look how clever I am. I wrote something. And you read this and you go like, oh my god, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And it gets even fucking worse. Okay, so I'm gonna read what he wrote. I'm gonna try to unpack that, but I'm gonna go only through my conversation I had on here. Sorry, guys. I'm not gonna go into many others. I'm probably gonna refer to other things, but here we go. Your team can't produce $15 an hour of value to a business in 2025. Right. So my answer to that was somehow in Germany they managed to produce equivalent value per hour plus 30 days worth of holidays. So yes, we can stop that because and this conversation is going to continue, but I'm just saying that any teen working in Germany is getting about 13 euros an hour, like in any takeaway, in any shop. That's about what they get. That's the minimum. The minimum basic wage in Germany is 12 euros 80 fucking 5 an hour. All right, and somehow people can pay that no problem. All right, but we can go. We will go on. Right, your team can produce $15 an hour of value to a business in 2025. Okay. On states that implemented higher minimum wages, 15 plus an hour, teen unemployment has skyrocketed. It is because all companies are inexorably greedy in these kinder gentler states. Or is it just difficult to create $15 an hour of value while selling an inflation spike $15 fast food meal? The cost of labor is roughly one third of the total experience in an individual fast food restaurant, which it's not, Daniel. If you have done any fucking research, you would know that it's not. Right? So the $15 Happy Meal has $5 of labor built into it. No, Daniel, you don't know what you're talking about. But I'm gonna read it first, then I'm gonna unpack it. Okay, I'm sorry, I just have to react to this. More than just the normal 3-4 workers that are preparing and serving the meal, that that's $5 has to pay for people to manage, maintain, and clean the restaurant too. Actually, most of the people who do most of this stuff, they can't do other stuff as well in the restaurant, okay? And many managers, they help with cooking when it's necessary and with serving customers. It's not that they all just magically do something different. The average fast food joint serves 250 meals a day. Don't think so. Okay, but okay, we'll go for an average in a small town, maybe. Who knows? Which means there are roughly $1,250 available to pay for labor every day. It's like, okay, working backwards, that is roughly 73 man hours a day at average of 17 hours. Some workers, like managers, cost more and nobody costs less than 15 hours. During an average of roughly 17 hours of working day, including opening and closing, that can pay for roughly 4 workers. In a small joint, yes, often there's only two, so it's like many small takeaways. At least the ones I've seen, they generally have like, fish and chips in England or kebab places in like again England, Germany, France, some waffle stands, that do or some small burger joints that would have like two, maybe three people max. So again, like Daniel's a bit losing this shit here, but this is like, hey, I don't know, maybe Americans are fucking different. Yeah, they must have 4 people at all the time. How much actual pre-tax profits does the store make that day? Around $200. A site owner who has to risk millions of dollars on this enterprise, figure out all of the rules federal, states, regional, and local government put on him, and take extra good care of his customers, will end up making roughly the same as an average school teacher, but without the benefit and the summer off. This is why your teen can't get simple fast food job in 11 states with minimum wage of $15 or higher. So how fucked up is Daniel's logic? Well, I've lived in England, I've lived and worked in France, Netherlands, Germany, I've been to Belgium, I've been to Switzerland, right? Just recently I watched a video by Channel 4, I believe, on British fish and chips shops. And I'll tell you one thing, like that I hear about. Most of the people that are running these kind of places, whether it's part of McDonald's chain or anything else, they complain about the cost of rent, the cost of energy, then the local taxes which have gone tenfold over the space of last 5 to 10 years, and like other stuff, and only somewhere at the end they will say, hey, this raising the wage is actually killing us. Like usually when they say about raising minimum wage that's killing them, they say, well, this was the last straw on the camel. So a lot of other things has happened before that. And I'll tell you one thing is in my experience, right, the people that run the small places, they actually don't mind and often would be very happy to raise the wages and hire more people. It's because they're part of this thing. I don't know, like, I kind of forget it. I remember this thing has been fucking up, human race, for millennia, right? It's this fucking little thing. I don't know, what was it called? Oh, remind me of these guys. What was that thing that's been fucking us over for the last 20,000 years? Oh wait, I remembered. Community. Yeah, they're part of this fucking horrible thing called community, right? That's the basis of the word communism. Yes, I said it. Communism. Let me repeat it again. Community. Communism. Yeah, taking care about your community. Right? I understand that for the rich cunts, they really don't understand how dare these fucking peasants care about their community, but that's the fact of life, right? Most of the rest small business owners don't really mind raising wages if they can to actually reinvest back into because they are members of that community and to take care about their community. I remember speaking to a guy who ran a shop in Brighton, and he was saying, "Hey man, things that are killing me is that my rent has gone up tenfold in the last few years." So, and again, like he's complaining about what was it, $15 an hour for workers making what is it, 17 hours, so $60 an hour. Let's say 70. Let's say we're talking 17 by 4. That's $68 an hour, right? We are talking about, so that's 68, so 600, so less than $1,000 a day, right? That's less than a thousand for four people. That's less than $1,000 a day. In many small joints and small businesses, many people, many owners, they work in this business, so they draw the wage from that business. And what do they have to pay for? Well, many businesses, their rents have gone up to often $1,000 per square meter. I believe there's been plenty of videos from many states, many cities, where they say, look, our rent is that much. But let's do some research, okay? Let's just go there. Oh, McDonald's franchise rent. So the McDonald's has a base rent from $0. I don't know where that fucking happens. To wait, 300,000 and $330,000 per month. I'm sorry. Wait, run that by me. Right. So if there's McDonald's that pays their staff at $17, they have. I need a calculator. Wait, let me think. Wait. Ah, well, this is gonna be. Oh, there you go, calculator. So we're gonna take $17. Right, that's what he said. 17. Right. X 4. That's $68. We're gonna imagine that they open 7 days a week, so we're gonna say that X, what was it, 12 hours, yeah? 12 hours a day, okay? X 30 days a week. We're just gonna be generous, right? This is the wages. Well, we're gonna say they had a McDonald's restaurant will have on average not 4 staff. We're gonna be generous. We're gonna say 12, right? 12 staff to do other things. Some part timers, some full buff. It will calculate. So we're gonna have to take this 4 and multiply by 3. We're gonna be generous. We're gonna say 75,000 payment to staff by an average McDonald's a month. To $300,000. Okay, we're gonna be generous, right? We're gonna say an average restaurant pays 150,000. So double that just for base rent for a restaurant. Stop fucking talking shit, people. And then they have to pay from 0 to 30% of their income, so of their turnover, which does not. Okay, sales and rent for new stores to roughly in rent. So plus another 14, plus another 300. So yeah, about 200 grand a month in rent and percentage on their sales. Huh? So, and then we're also talking about the fact it's, so we're gonna say 200 they pay. 200 grand in just payments to McDonald's. And they have to also do like some first installments, whatever, a month. over 75 grand in wages. That is already not one third. Because on top of that, they have to pay for electricity. And that ain't cheap. Okay, that's probably one of the biggest bills they have. Right? Probably another 200 grand. At least that's what fish and chip shops say. They say their electricity went from like I don't know, five grand a month to like 50 grand a month. Something like this. Yeah. Then they have to pay all the local taxes and stuff like this. So yeah, the wage is by far not one third of your cost. And before you start talking shit about like teenagers making 15 bucks an hour, like I'm sorry, I cannot like I'm talking about this. And this thought comes to my mind that you know what? Many Americans complain about girls going to OnlyFans, opening up their OnlyFans accounts. And I'm reading this, and I'm sorry, I just can't blame them. I really, I really cannot. I don't like it. I don't think it should be really something like. But really, like you getting these teenagers and they need to spend 40 hours a week, and then they pay their taxes, and in 40 hours a week, all they make is just to buy themselves maybe a pair of good trainers, and you complaining that this is fucking expensive, right? I don't know. I don't understand this, guys. I really fucking don't get it. It's like, but I have done a little bit more research, so yes, I printed it out over here because I was interested. You know what? Oh yes, you're sorry, Volkswagen. Right, so I've made a little formula how much the CEO of Volkswagen makes. Right, and then we have basically the formula is very simple. I took German national holidays plus 25 days holidays they get, and essentially this is the formula I use for everyone else. CEO of Volkswagen makes 28,000 euros per day. CEO per day. Now, essentially, he makes in a day more than. Okay, do you? Oh no, was based on a cheap this a full payment package he was getting was. Do you want to know also based on 8 point effective daily pay was actual working day. Let's carefully compute. So oh yes, 45,770. So on a factory working day, Volkswagen CEO Oliver Bloom makes around 45,778 euros per day. Per day. That's not per year. That's not per month. That's per day. Right? So I was like, okay, cool. I'm tripping. Let's look at other people. So Ford CEO Jim Farley, yeah, was approximately $26 million. Right, 117,300 per day. This motherfucker makes equivalent of two average employees from Ford per day. Is he really that fucking valuable? I mean, the Volkswagen guy at least makes about on average 1 month's pay. Oh, 1 year pay. 1 year pay per day. Right? This guy makes double the year's pay. Oh, Nescafe CEO. Let's look at him. So formula is pretty same. So you're gonna have to maybe change it a little bit. 74,000 Swiss francs per day. Remember, many people who work for Nescafe, they work in the very cheap countries. So the average wage per company is not very fucking high. Right, so it's a total compensation. Oh, yes, we have a total compensation for Nescafe. So that's just damn summary table. So if we take total compensation that he makes, that goes up to 295,600 Swiss francs per day. And you're complaining about 15 bucks an hour, you dumb fucking cunts? You really do that? You really gonna complain about 15,000, about $15 an hour wage? Who else we've got? Chrysler CEO. Chrysler has got Stellantis. So Stellantis CEO. So they have a few. So they average, yes, 161,600 euros per working day. Hell, Volkswagen guy is fucking poor compared to these motherfuckers. But some fucking obnoxious upmarket fucking twats are gonna complain about $15 an hour to the poor, to the people who just start their working life. I mean, stocking shelves is still stocking fucking shelves, whether you're 25 or whether you're 15. All right? Additional constant space salary, 2 million. Right, Forza. Yeah. Okay. Boeing. Now, Boeing is in actual fucking shit. Boeing is fucking drowning. Right? So, yes, the one guy who was running it into shit was making $145,100 per day, per working day. Okay? That's not a month. That is a day. He was making double people's yearly wages in one day. The next dump cunt that was running the company, 171,400 per day. And they ran the company into the fucking ground. Tell me that they will tell me, oh, it's the market economy. Yeah, they got a market fucking value. What fucking value? They drove the company into the fucking shit. Right, McDonald's CEO, this guys we talked about. Effective daily pay $80,000, 500. I'm sorry, run that by me. You're complaining about 15 bucks? You say 17 bucks is an average for something like McDonald's? Right? So, 17 bucks. Where's my calculator? Where's my calculator? So we're gonna say, I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna say 20 bucks. We're gonna multiply it by 40 hours and multiply it by 52 weeks. $41,000. That's a very generous mid-level wage for McDonald's. So this guy is essentially making double, and that's not a minimum wage. That is like a much higher wage. And you dumb fucking cunts gonna complain about 15 bucks an hour? How fucking stupid are you? Right? Okay, who we got next? Starbucks. Yes, I will use 95.8 million he has got. Yes. Da 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 1 point. Okay, well, we have got some calculation. You calculate if you work for the full year. Yes, Starbucks. If you work for a full year, the guy would have received $500,000 per every working day. And you're gonna complain that the Starbucks worker gets 15 bucks an hour? you? Like seriously. Yeah, want me to also put, yeah, show the wage gap ratio. Let's do that. Show the wage gap ratio. Base 3,000 times. Inclusive barista pay, that's probably with all the fucking tips. 2,000 times. What the fuck are you people complaining about? You're complaining about wrong fucking things, like, unless you want your teenagers to be poor. Unless you want your fucking, those girls go on OnlyFans or like, you know, go to the restaurant and then give you special services in the back fucking room just to pay their rents. If that's what you want, just be fucking honest. But don't be fucking telling me about $15 an hour. It's fucking bad. Oh fucking they kill the businesses. When these cunts are making that much, they're killing nothing. Right? We can go down the energy companies. Same fucking shit. The energy companies raised their fucking profits tenfold in the last few years. And yes, I actually have a video on my channel where I describe how they've done it. Exactly how they kept their prices up after a spike during the start of the Russian-Ukrainian war, and how the energy prices have gone down, but the electricity and bills have stayed up. Okay? Same shit, different fucking day. Right? That's what's killing the businesses, not the 15 hours a day wage or an hour wage. Okay, where's my answer? So, of course, I was nice. I was like, okay, they make. Right, see previous reply. There's a lot of replies. And yeah. Is somebody in Germany being paid 13 euros an hour? It's like, yes, okay, yes. He tried to catch me out. And nice setup. This is why I noticed Germany is far more advanced in application of all this electric shit. Is like when the labor becoming more expensive, the chains add more tech to replace them. As a matter of fact, adding more tech to the stores, I live in Germany, right? Like this is his answer, like, oh, they add more tech. As a matter of fact, adding more tech did not decrease the numbers of employees by much. Maybe by one or two, but the cost of maintaining that tech is actually about the same as having the employees. It just makes it a bit faster and a bit more comfortable for the people because there are so many tools you can have in the shop. Even if you have 30 employees, you can still only fit in like 3, 4 tills, right? You can put like 8 of the self-service checkouts where you can go and do it yourself. Essentially, people can go through them faster. It's quite often not the cooking in many places that actually creates the problem, the lockdowns. It's the fact that the people have to go on the tills, then they take the order, and these automatic service machines, they don't actually remove the stuff. Like I live in Berlin. Those who have been in Berlin, there's a very big McDonald's in the city center by that border crossing point. Many tourists go there, and I've been there before they put the electric tills and after. And to be honest, they did not decrease the numbers of staff. And what happens is that people get served faster, and there is less back and forth by the tills because you're literally coming up and you're dealing with the person just giving you the stuff. So no, it really improved the process, but they could not change the amount of people if they wanted. So it does not really change that many of the jobs. So Again, Daniel doesn't know what he's talking about very much because he does not understand how the small businesses work, apparently. As is a business succession strategist, but what the fuck do I know? Obviously, right? And again, there he's wrong. I do call him out on the wrong because UK minimum wage is 12.50. In France, it's 11.88, and we can go on. There is a reason why. Again, I'm gonna go through the whole conversation. Many German places are struggling to find people to work there, partially because the employers are looking for a steed in a vacuum. That's a thing in Germany. I think in many places they look for this perfect person who's gonna come in, take all the boxes, even on the minimum fucking wage, and then they expect, like, I worked in a small shop, for example, and they expected me to come over and work for free in the morning because as I was when I came in, I said, "Where can I sign in?" And they say, "Well, you can only sign in like about 10 minutes before you start." I was like, "Okay, but you want me to come in and get the shop ready, and it does not take 10 minutes, right?" So they said, "No, we expect you to come in at least half an hour to an hour earlier and make everything ready." I said, "Well, okay, can you then just put me on the shifts?" Put it on my shifts that I'm coming in at this time to make the shop ready so that it actually shows correctly. And they didn't like that. They were like, "We expect you to be like, committed to our business." I was like, "No, I expect to get paid for my time. I'm happy to come in, but please put it on my time sheet so that we don't have these arguments." They didn't like it very much. Right? Okay, partially because this is partially, and but many small many businesses, like, again, they were not really a small local business. They were really a chain, and the managers, they were from the head office, so they were really just a bunch of fucking cunts. But they were like, "Well, we're modern business, so I don't give a shit," you know but again, many people really don't like this attitude. Many local businesses, like small places, they'll be actually way more accepting of you. But obviously, many of those places in Berlin, they're dying out. And it's like, well, we're gonna talk about this first. So it's like, partially because many people on unemployment see almost no benefit in switching to full-time employment due to high rents and living expenses. And partially because unemployment system is so slow and convoluted that people simply do not want to risk losing unemployment if it is already established. And yes, this is something people don't understand about Germany is like, so, and it's not just Germany. This is again something I really talked before, and it really ticks me off because you go on unemployment, right? And as soon as you get off unemployment on a minimum wage, I live in Berlin and I have my contract for my flat is already 5 years old, right? So I got lucky. So because of the wages rising and things like this, right now, if I'm to go on the minimum, even on the minimum wage, my monthly expenses are going to be about 1,000 euros a month. And on a minimum wage, after tax, let me see if I've got that somewhere here. I think it was somewhere on one of these. No, no, no. Okay, yes. This guy's. Yeah, so if that would be how much you would approximately make before tax, 2,158, and you would make 1,567.45 after all the taxes, right? This is a minimum wage, so if you're making the 13 euros an hour, it's going to be a little bit more. But because my rent is actually quite cheap with all the bills and stuff like this, I'm spending about half a thousand euros, and I can quite reasonably, for my job is near my house. I don't have to spend a lot of time traveling, thus spending a lot of time, more money on hand, because obviously if you travel a long time, you have to buy takeaway or something like this. If I can cook from home, I can quite reasonably survive on about 500 euros a month. So I could actually keep around, well, I would say around 500 euros a month to do other things. So it's be like, I don't know, go to the cinema, like buy some new clothes, buy some new shoes or whatever, and probably keep about 200 to 300 euros a month if I was on the minimum wage to for my saving. But I live alone, so I don't have any dependents. I don't have any kids. I don't have any of that. Right? That's the result of a minimum wage in Germany. Many people, many teenagers, like, or many younger people that come out, essentially, if they were to come out on this wage, they come out of their home, they're trying to find themselves a flat or a place to live, and that has been going on for the last good 20 to 30 years. So there is a moment of time where for the first years, like, you simply, if you got yourself a place and you're on unemployment, the cost of renting, like for example, renting a room in Berlin, you could easily be paying like over 600 euros now. Like a flat like mine, again, 800 euros a month easy because of the bills. There is other things I will talk about rents, but again, go to any country, like again, go to US, same shit, like different same shit, different currency. Like majority of the cities, after you pay the rent, minimum wage just don't cover that. So in Germany, if you are going for a 40-hour week, and then by the end of the month, all you have to show for that is really extra, because obviously if you're unemployment, they pay for your rent, you get so much money to spend, and then because of, if you live at home, you can cook properly, you can save a lot of money. You can save a lot of money if you simply cook at home. So it's like just cooking a tomato sauce for my cooking. If I have, like, 2 hours to prepare my meal, I can prepare everything, I can put everything. If I have to run to work and I don't have 2 hours a day to prepare for my meals, it's a different story. I have to buy sauces instead of cooking them and other things. And that different, it does add up. So that problem they have in Germany is that if you are on unemployment, the minimum wage, because of the way the ranking structures. And I talked about this. Like, I personally talked about this all the way in 2017. This is why this pisses me off so much, when there will be like people like this who will be going on about like, oh, $15 or like whatever, it's too little. No, it's not. It's not. This is just the basic fucking minimum for most of the cities. After you pay your bills, after you pay everything else, if you want your people to work full time or part time to be able to pay like for college or anything else like this, and you say that really working for 40 hours should really keep them like full, if they have to work full time, and then the only thing they can afford themselves is a new fucking t-shirt at the end of the month, you're fucking tripping. You are fucking tripping. Your businesses are going out of business not because of the minimum wage. It's the rents. It's the costs. This is what's killing them. The minimum wage is the final straw. And again, something I said long time ago, right? If you're if renting out a place for a restaurant makes more money than running a restaurant, you will have no restaurants, you will have no shops. This is why people can't find these jobs, because the rents are so damn fucking high, right? like, 100, about a grand for every square meter on average in most places. Most shops, I don't know, about 100 square meters for a shop, for a restaurant, 100, about 300 feet. I think that would be in American. It would be the stupid terms, the American terms, yeah? 300 feet per area. Right, 3 feet, 3 square feet, $1,000. Right. So now somebody decided to correct me. The 20, only 21-year-old is making over £12 in UK. And like I said, my answer was like, I only checked the overall minimum wages. I live in Germany now, but stocking shelves is stocking shelves. And I remember making way more as when I was a teenager. I moved to UK under 21, and I was earning more than the minimum wage for teenagers. I was making over a minimum wage because I was over 18 and I worked in the bars and the clubs, and many of them paid a normal minimum wage and more. Now businesses cannot afford that. Yes, the MBA people, the don't fucking. I'm gonna swear a lot more. You're forgetting that Germany has underinvested in their own military and depended on the USA for many decades. If they had to spend even a fraction of what we spent, they would have the leftover. They wouldn't have the leftover for social programs. So yes, I did reply them. I forgot that I'm talking to Americans. Germany still produces majority of its own weapons. Investing into own military would lead to creation of high-paying jobs, less people on benefits, bigger internal market for manufacturing equipment, more dense economy, higher savings rate, higher tax revenue. Can you help anybody grow anything if you don't understand something as simple as that? And look, guys, that's my honest opinion. Like, the guy says that he has an MBA, right, and whatever the fuck else he has. It's like, I mean, there was somebody else down below here, right? It kind of all mixed up. I don't know where this VM guy, unless he removed his comment because I actually made fun of him. But yeah, but there was another guy who was like running the same fucking thing. It was like, well, us Americans, we pay for our military and you guys don't. It's like, and to be honest, by that time I was like, is that your excuse to complain about $15 minimum wages in US? I understand that you guys are American, but you can't be that fucking American. And that's the truth. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, this is your fucking excuse to fuck over your teenagers. I don't know, guys. Like, really? Like, that's your fucking excuse to fuck over your own businesses? Right? Right? These are the NBA guys. Like, these are the morons who've been like pushing for moving out all the production out of US and Europe into the slave markets of China and whichever other countries where they pay the people so little they can't afford fucking food. Again, I wonder why, right? But the truth of life is that if Germany has actually properly invested into its own military, because obviously, we could probably go into this, like, I was referring to government spending, which Germany has a lot more bandwidth to support its citizens with social spending because it doesn't have to defend itself. We do. Or at least we did before Trump. How would Germany afford welfare when they have to pay for their own protection? You guys should be grateful instead of crowning about how much better you are. Newsflash, I've been to Germany several times and it's not really that great. Well, I like it more. Somebody going on, Germany also had highly productive, intelligent, and educated Either college or trade apprenticeship, homogeneous population until recently. The social programs, crime, and other issues are starting to eat them alive. Okay, I already explained the economics, and it is still is. And again, this is an MBI guy. You clearly don't understand the economics, sir. The government spending, yes, government spending creates jobs, but is not net job creator. The private sector is. And the average US job pays more than the average German job. So clearly free market policies work better than top-down socialism. If you give people freedom to make their own decision, it leads to better outcome. Better outcome, you half-wit imbecile? Like you have more homeless in US than the population of fucking Germany. What the fuck you talking about? Half of your country lives beyond the line of poverty. They can't afford a trip to a fucking doctor. And this half-wit fucking imbecile is gonna tell me about the quality of fucking life? I mean, really? Like this guy's MBA? I mean, Germany has got tons of fucking trouble. And most of this trouble is from the government being run by very old people who don't know what the fuck is going on. And I'll admit to that, but the shit this guy is writing, are you sure he's got a master's in, I mean, understand, master's in business administration doesn't mean the understanding of systems. Doesn't mean the understanding of actual fucking economics. But for fuck's sake, right, I clearly do understand. The government hires private sector companies on certain contractual obligations. The more government hires those companies, the more jobs are created and maintained. So, yes, we got to the point of explaining this system. So, yes, if the government pays for supporting their military, so what does this entitle? Well, this entitle the repairment or the repairing and building new like tanks, cars, machines. So, and obviously, if your military is constantly training, they constantly need the shells to train for their artillery. They constantly need new different parts for the artillery, for the tanks, for the cars, because if they're being used, right, they're being worn out, and then you build new ones, right? That's how shit goes. And this is what the Germany has not really been doing is they have not been investing into it's not just the Germany, right? So it has not been investing into the military training exercises, obviously keeping up the numbers. And again, when people when Americans talking me about taking care about the military, like how many of your veterans, dear Americans, how many of you veterans are sleeping on the fucking streets, you fucking cunts, huh? Stop fucking talking about really supporting your military when you leave your military men behind as soon as they fucking leave the service. Right? You throw them on the streets and you fucking clap them. Thank you for your service. Now go fucking sleep in the tent. You fucking imbeciles. Right, but if you speak to economic, right, I'm sorry. I just can't help it. Right? You know, it's like you make movies about how you love your military, and then you fucking dump them in the backyard and hope they never fucking appear in your fucking window. You twats. Right? But anyway, let's go back to economics. Right? If you invest into your military, it means that you maintain the planes. Investing into military means investing into training, investing into skills, investing into constant machinery, and something that, for example, when the Russians invaded Ukraine, something that turned out is that, well, most of the German tanks could not drive because they've been literally left in disrepair, right? And if you continuously maintain them, what you do is you create not only jobs, but if you, this is the problem actually I find with many governments. It's not just German government. It's US government. It's the fucking same. Same problems were in the Ukrainian government. British government is the fucking one of the fucking worst ones for that. Because I lived in England the longest, so yes. What happens is that there are no real contract. There are contractual obligations, but nothing happens if the companies break them. Like there's nothing written into the contracts which holds people accountable for breaking those contractual obligations. So the problem is not the government spending money, it's the government spending money, giving them to people like this Curtis, whatever the fuck he is, with their MBAs, and these people come in and say, "We're gonna do something good, like we're gonna build housing for homeless," and then they just disappear, or they waste the money on like projects and stuff like this, and they say, "Well, we're sorry, we really kind of went a bit 20 times over the budget, but we're sorry." Like no bitches, something should be written in a contract. And the problem we find is the governments don't demand those contractual obligations. So if you're in a private business, the private business usually feels that, look, if you break the contract, we're gonna fuck you. When you deal with many big businesses, they sign the contracts with the governments, there's a contractual obligation that we have to deliver this. And what is the punishment for not delivering this? Well, the government is gonna give you more money. Right, that's the problem with government spending. So yes, so the government hires private sector companies on certain contractual obligations which must be enforced. Otherwise, the money gets wasted. Right, how government hires those companies, the more government hires those companies, the more jobs are created and maintained. Often those companies, like in the US, like what we've seen with Boeing, like we've seen in some European cases, like they simply pay their CEOs and board members and the people who signed the contract get a good bonus, and then it goes nowhere. No jobs are created. So yes, contractual obligations need to be enforced. And I do understand that. And it has nothing to do with private or public money. It's literally just fucking responsibility. Something that people like this fucking Curtis MB fucking A up his fucking ass do not have and never did. What kind of fucking business can he reach if he doesn't understand basic things like this? I don't fucking know, but well, fuck knows. He's American. Alright? He's American. I think we all understand that American really doesn't stand here for America. It just stands for retarded idiot moron. And yes, YouTube, if they complain, right, you can take out any money that's coming from that video because none is coming. All right? I'm not getting paid for this. And this is not an offensive word. This is a statement of a fucking fact. And yes, this video, like a disclaimer, this video is not for children. Right? This is going to be registered. So there's another. So anyway, let's continue with another description of economic system. Right. So because these people are complaining about apparently the person who's working 40 hours a week doing his right job should not really make the living fucking wage. Should not be able to afford the rent, let alone raising a fucking family. I don't know. Again, something I don't fucking understand that shit. How come that, like, when these fucking twats, when they've been growing up in the fucking they've been born in like 60s, 70s, right? They're retards, right? That's why they're retards, right? They come from and 60s, 70s, like, even in the 80s, when a man or a woman did 40 hours job, they were kind of expected to, at least like in the 80s, a family of two. If you had a family of three, you needed a double income. Even in the 80s, like people who were a little bit further up the ladder or had a bit more experience, they could really maintain the family. Like, they could have only one person working. Now it's only the CEOs that can maintain a family of four. Probably that's why, what the fuck this his name is, the guy who came up, the guy who did not come up with Tesla, the guy who took over Tesla. Everybody thinks he's a fucking hero. Oh yeah, Elon Musk, yeah, that's the guy. Right, probably that's why he's making so many kids, because he can fucking afford it. Probably one of the few people in his company, right? But and again, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go back to this one. Yeah, let's look at the numbers. Yeah, okay. So these guys, 2,000 times that barista pays, gets paid. That's what he makes. But to be honest, if we take these guys, and this is where the problem comes here, right? In this part where they in this part, because these guys, if you take the 100 top earners in most of the corporations, those 100 top earners generally will make probably double of what the lowest 95% in the company makes. And the 100 top earners will generally make probably double of what the rest of the company, 95%. Maybe not double, okay, maybe just about the same, right? 95% top 100 people, 95% top 100 people, right? That's where the problem comes. It's not the problem of the government spending or not spending money. It's them hiring the companies, making sure that the companies fulfill their obligations, not just to the top 100 people, but to the rest of their staff and to the country that's hiring. Okay? Of course, there is another system. Right? Another system. The government owns certain manufacturing, housing, etc., which are run to receive profit and guarantee supply of certain products and services required by the government and the people. Again, I understand that the guy is American, so let me explain, right? The particular system is used by every state that has zero taxes. Okay, so Switzerland, they have their hand in banking, probably in some housing and something else. Monaco, everybody loves Monaco. If you've ever been to Monaco, it's fucking full of people, I'll tell you. It's lovely. The weather's fucking amazing most of the year. Wouldn't go into the ocean in the spring. It's still a Mediterranean. It's still a bit cold, but the weather's fucking amazing. And yes, the government owns Casino Royale. Well, that 100% pays for all the government expenses, and they own a bunch of hotels and a bunch of houses. So their government owns a lot of stuff which pays, which make profit to the government, which means that people that move to Monaco and live in Monaco pay zero taxes, right? Because the government makes money. Saudi Arabia, they own, and many countries in UAE, was it? Because UAE, I think, is United Arab Emirates, or many of those Emirates. They obviously own their oil. They also own a lot of housing. They own a lot of hotels, and they have shares in multiple businesses. And those things are making the profits for the country. And then they are, my phone is ringing. And then these profits are actually used to maintain the country. And this is why when you move there, you generally pay zero taxes or very little taxes. And this is why those governments, because they run their businesses for profit, whenever you sign a deal with the government, or because you're not signing a deal with just a random person, you generally signing with one of these corporations, and these corporations are run for profit. So when you sign a contract, they enforce the contractual obligations. They say, hey, if you fuck up, we still expect to get our money. We're working here for profit. Yes, yes, I know you didn't know that. I know that, like most of the Americans who watch that, Americans, yeah? Yeah, most of the stupid people who have MBAs and CPAs and what the fuck else they have, or they advertise people on how to expand their, what was he doing, like, oh, business succession strategies and whatever fucking else they do, right? Was it who else we got here? Like, yes, all this fucking yes, all these fucking people, right? They don't know that, right? They didn't. I know. For this, you obviously need to study economics. Actually, like be interested in at least a little bit interested in the subject. Just a little bit understand what the fuck you're talking about, and not just buy your fucking MBA from some university because you gave them 20 grand and they will pass you anyway, no matter what you do. Okay? Right. But okay, let's go. There's not much left, is there? Like, okay, cool. There's a bit of talk about Germany not having been allowed to have an army. Right, okay, did correct him. Yes, the only country that was not allowed to have an army after World War II was Japan. They went around it by creating self-defense force that is better equipped than majority of armies on the planet. That's actually the truth. Like after World War II, the only country that was not allowed to have its own army was the Japan. So it was after the World War One that they were tried banning Germany from having their own army, but after World War II, they did not. Sorry, my throat is hurting. Like that's really this subject really gave me a bit of a ride. So yes, the all European countries started to yes, this is like the bit of a history. Yes, after the fall of USSR and especially after the 90s, many companies have started to decrease their investment into military. So this is why we see the results now in Germany, France, UK as well. And at the start of the 2000s, we see a rise in American style MBAs, and very much like US, they have stopped investing into their core industries and started to move them to cheap slave markets like China. Right, the only reason the American MBAs complain is because they would like to pay you, the Chinese or the workers, the normal people, yeah, the Chinese wages while you will buy their services at New York rates. But that's a secret. Don't tell anybody, right? Don't tell anybody that they want to do this. But that's the fact, right? It's like the Chinese opened their market when the companies, and again, I talked about this. It's like I was like, I made a boring video talking about this, where I was saying, hey, the companies they don't invest in this stuff. In my last video, right? They don't invest into the economies. You have to be a certain level of economist, really, for that. You have to tell the company, sorry guys, if you really want to trade in our markets, you have to still follow certain rules. Yes, enforce the contractual obligations. And those contractual obligations are not being enforced. And we're not talking just about the military. If you look at, for example, clothes manufacturers, I don't think, unless it's a very small, like, clothes shop, which really kind of works essentially to order. Majority of clothes manufacturing slash shoe manufacturing is not actually done in Europe. So Adidas only produces a specialty shoes. So for example, if they make something like to order shoes for some NBA player or like so high-end orders still produced in Germany, they've stopped the production of any other shoes in Germany or anywhere in Europe, as far as I know, or US. They have moved all of that to Southeast Asia and like China kind of thing. China, India, Bangladesh, the lot over there. Right? So when you're buying shoes thinking they're German, they're not. Right? So you can as well buy quite often. I've actually seen Nike shoes. Nike, I think these guys are American. I'm not, oh, fuck knows, I don't know. But again, they make them in the factories in Asia, and I've seen Nike shoes, and then I've recently was looking out to buy myself, hoping to buy myself basketball shoes. And to be honest, I have seen a Chinese shoe which are obviously done in the same factory as Nike, but I have to say that Nike shoe would be sold for 150 euros. The Chinese shoes being sold for 35 euros. Right? The Chinese shoes have more size choice, right? They are not as I don't think some of the materials probably not as as Nikes, but I do have to say, like for me, the shoes are all about their grip and stuff like this. And when I went and like tried the sole of the shoes and how it feels, I have to say that that Chinese shoe for 30 shoes, those Chinese shoes for 35 euros were actually better quality. They were better shoes than Nike shoes. They were made out of nicer, better materials, which were better for what I want to use the shoes for. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, these companies, they've made and then they produce some shit crap somewhere in China where they pay their people. And again, you have to understand a bit of research. I don't know if I still have that thing open, but no, absolute washing machine falling risk burning property, martial arts, pay crash and fix. I don't have it here now more, but yes. Okay. Uh, Percentage of Chinese people that over 1,000 euros per month. Okay, let's look at this. So that people don't say that, hey, Yuri, haha, you're lying, you're full of shit. Okay, so disposable income, uh, yeah, lowest 20%, 103 euros. Average person in China makes 448 euros per month. Yeah, that's a huge Chinese market. Okay, mhm, per month. Average main disposal. So, fewer than 5% of Chinese people, citizens over fewer than 5, under 5%. Can you estimate the number? Fewer than 5% of Chinese people population earns over 1,000 euros a month. Okay, so from 40 to 55 million. We're going to be generous. 60 million people, around 60 million, just over 60 million Chinese people make more than 1,000 euros per month. That's less than population of Germany. Right. This is where your $15 wages go. Okay? Okay, this is the big this is where this is why so many people cannot find good jobs any not good but at least paying jobs anyway. Because that's where this is the Chinese market. Like slaves being sold to Western companies and to produce cheap goods so that they could charge us what so to Nike, let's say, Nike buys people at what was it, $300 a month, $400 a month. Fucking hell. We'll be generous. We're gonna say that Nike really likes to pay their people, so they buy their slaves at $400 a month. They rent them. They rent their slaves at $400 per month to try and sell us Nike shoes for 150 euros. Yeah, okay, brilliant. You know, it's like listen to these people. People, this is why it really pisses me off. This is why this whole conversation pisses me off. This is why no matter how sweet Daniel Sweet is, the fact that look, he is complaining about $15 an hour for a wage is pissing me off. It really does. It really drives me nuts. These old people really drive me fucking crazy. Because you listen to the shit there and they write that shit outright. They don't understand how businesses work. They don't understand how economics work because if you kill the jobs, if you don't people the proper wages, you kill the economy. American economy is tanking. They removed more than 50% of their production to so much cheaper markets, and they left like what? Tons of their people working on subsistence wage, subsistence wages. Right? They drive their rents up so high that the small businesses cannot run. I'm sorry, I do not believe that any fucking renting place deserves like more than $10 for a square meter for a shop. I don't. I don't believe that McDonald's should be charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for a shop, even with the fucking equipment. Not per month, per year, okay, maybe. Not per fucking month. So when some fucking guys who don't understand how this shit works start fucking complaining about stuff they don't fucking understand about, I get a fucking rise out of that. I do get pissed off, and every time I go like, well, look, Yuri, just calm down, just like take your time, take a think about it, so that you don't actually like, try to be reasonable, try not to offend people. Fuck you, motherfuckers! Fuck you! Alright? I'm a fucking communist. Sue me. You fucking twats. That's what I want to say to you. Oh, I just said it. Am I sorry? No, I'm not sorry. Fuck you. You don't fucking deserve it. You don't fucking deserve your teenagers. You don't fucking deserve them. You don't fucking deserve any respect. You greedy fucking cunts. Fuck you. Alright, and before you fucking start telling me more about how fucking smart you are, I remember this fucking guy. Let me just think about his name, right? Really, like, just something just came, like, something just been in front of my eyes. I don't remember, like, I don't know. He was like running. He started his company right about the time of Great Recession. I think he was making cars. Well, let me think about what was his fucking name. Don't remember. But he really ran that company like really thousands of people. Fucking just ran it. Just fucking ran it. And at some moment of time when everybody in US was trying to get the wages down to $1 a day. Yeah, long time. 1920 fucking something. 1920 fucking 9. You know what this guy did? I'm not talking about Daniel fucking Price in the fucking start of this century. No, I'm talking the start of the previous century. What did this guy do? Let me think. Oh yes, he raised wages at his company to like $6 an hour, to $6 a day, was it? So 4 to 5 times higher than everybody else. What was his name? Fucking, well, I'm telling you, he probably killed it with that company. Really, like with the wage rise, he really fucked up himself, didn't he? What was his name? Oh yes, Henry fucking Ford. So if you're gonna tell me that I don't know something, well, yeah, I don't. If you tell me I'm stupid, I'm gonna say, hey guys, I'm stupid. I agree with you. But Henry Ford, was he stupid? What was the other guy's name who said, if you have problem with money over people, make sure you take care about your people before the money? Like, make sure shit works for the people? I don't remember, like, I think, was it the guy who came up with the whole idea of market economy? What was his name? Oh, yes, Adam fucking Smith. If I have to pick Henry Ford and Adam fucking Smith over some fucking twat in some fucking university who had never done a day of fucking work in his life and only sucked up to the richest fucking twats that paid him to write the shit they would to that would justify them being rich fucking cunts and driving their own fucking people into the fucking ground. I'm gonna choose Henry Ford and Adam fucking Smith. Fuck you very much. Okay? So you can call me stupid. I don't mind. I don't give a shit. But between Henry Ford and Adam fucking Smith, I believe they beat all of you motherfuckers any day. Right? The Ford has created the company which has lasted for over 100 years and never had to declare bankruptcy until the last few years when it's been run by some fucking twat which was making. Wait, let us take a look. Let's see if we can find him. What is it, Ford CEO? CEO, where is his name? Calculator full year. What was it? What was he making? Starbucks. Where's that Ford motherfucker? McDonald's, Ford, Boeing. Yeah, that guy did very good fucking job. Chrysler, calculator. Ford. Yes, this fucking twat at $117,000 per fucking day. Right, I'm gonna take Henry Ford over this cunt every fucking day of the year. That's you. That guy is fucking you. He's fucking you or he is fucking you. Pick one. Pick which size of the fence you want to be. you know. So don't be telling me about minimum wage people. I have my problems with minimum wages. I do. I really do. I even made a video on my channel where I talk about basic minimum income and minimum wages. I talked about them before, which is unless you can sort out the issues like overpriced rents, overpriced energy prices, too high taxes, right? Simply pushing up minimum wages doesn't work. But that's a system failure, right? You do understand. It's not because I don't want the teenagers to get a good wage. As a matter of fact, I think that anybody who's doing an honest job, like, no matter which age they are, they should be getting enough money to maintain themselves and at least one or two other people. You know, If you're 16 and you're married or your boyfriend or girlfriend and you became parents, yeah, that happens still sometimes. Right? And you became parents, I think that one of you going to work full time should really be able to support your family, even when you're 16, because you're doing an honest job. Most of these jobs you can learn in a space of a couple of days. They're not hyper complicated, right? And doing this job, you should be able to maintain that family. Why do I think that? Maybe because my mother's husband, when we just moved to England, his story of his youth when he was growing up, when he became a father in the 80s, was that he was working as a shop assistant. And he and his wife had a smaller flat and they had a kid and he could maintain the family. And then he grew and over the years he became more and more and more. And his wages allowed his wife not to work. And then when the kids went to school, she went and did part time work just to get out of his house. Yeah? Is this too much to ask? Right? You don't like wages? Okay. Well, make sure about the rents. Make sure that the shops don't have to pay ten thousands of dollars in rent. So yes, maybe then, just then, there will be $5 of wages in your $15 meal. But right now, there ain't. And you're talking fucking shit. So can you please just stop talking fucking shit in public, right? The NBA people, right? If you're like this NBA, whatever, right? And like, I mean, look, I know it seems like I'm picking on Curtis Hearn, on fuck knows that I'm picking on Curtis, but Curtis is really just a representation of so many people, right? Do you think Curtis is that dumb? No, no. Curtis represents so many people who went to American type MBAs and they come out, they say this dumb shit, and you go like, oh my fucking god, do we live in different universes? Right? We have scientists screaming their guts off about something that people laughed at me about when I was saying that in 20 fucking 20, when I was saying, hey guys, our birth rates are so fucking low that in the next 5 years our housing prices are gonna start falling down because people were gonna just start fucking dying and we're gonna start losing population. Now, since then, so many scientists came out and started screaming, oh my god, our population is gonna start falling, so many old people, right? We want young people to have kids. We want them to be able to take care about their families, and yet somehow you dumb motherfuckers complaining that oh my god, we can't pay them $15 an hour. We can't give them enough earnings that they can move out of their parents' house. Are you tripping? Like Daniel Curtis, uh, J-Bo, energy professional. Yeah, fuck off. J-Bo, who else there? Like, oh, Anthony's, not just, Collins, uh, Pico's, right? I don't know, he's all of you guys, like, all of you, like, everyone who they represent, right? I mean, I am screaming at you guys. I'm not screaming at you guys. I'm screaming at the whole fucking idea. Why I don't have to. Like I can open up. Like there's plenty of guys I can hear on YouTube. Some wanna be made. I just made myself into like 10 million business, and you guys should be like me. Like you fucking psychopath. You guys are fucking retarded psychopaths. Okay? Not everybody makes to a 10 million business. And like for the Daniel to be this strategy, whatever the fuck he is, there needs to be 100 people who do every day mundane tasks, including serving him burgers. Including those guys. So for each Daniel, there should be like 100 guys doing actual productive fucking work. For him to go around and act as if he knows something. Right? So 1%. Then there's another 100 guys. And those 100 guys need to be paid properly. They need to be able to afford a family. You know, many guys now complain that, look, the girls want somebody who makes 100 grand. If you don't make 100 grand, the girls don't really want to marry you. But are the girls really that fucking wrong? Like, these guys, the Daniels, the Curtises, and the Law, and the fucking, what the fuck his name is. Yes, Farley's, Jim Farley's, and what the fuck his name is. Oliver Blurms and Blum, Blum, and the rest of the motherfuckers. They have created a situation, like, you know, where unless you make 100 grand, you can't really support a family of three. I live in Berlin, and I know that in Berlin, to really support a family of three, you need to be making an expense of about 70 grand. That's top 10%. The rest of the people aren't making that much. And you motherfuckers are complaining about $15 an hour? Seriously? Like, am I fucking tripping? Like, I'm reading some shit like this, and I'm just going like, which drugs did I take? I mean, I only drink Coke. And that's not even Coke. That's just Coke. That's just Coca fucking Cola. I'm not snorting Coke. I don't take, like, I don't know, what's it? Shit that people used to smoke. I don't take heroin. I don't take acid. I don't take drugs. I don't drink alcohol. Why the hell each time I open my eyes, I have an impression as if I'm fucking tripping. People say to me that communism is bad. Yeah, sure. But compared to what? Sorry, but the countries, they say that I can't do that. Like, and this is why why it's so hard to really sit down. It's like, and you talk about this. I want to talk more about this stuff, but it's like I'm looking. No, it's not like Black Mirror. No, 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 no. That's like, oh, that's a movie series. What was it? It's like, I know it's like this room is crooked mirror, so it's like crooked, broken Black Mirror on fucking drugs. That's what I'm seeing. But it's fine. I listen to this scientists which scream on YouTube. Oh my God, we don't understand why people don't want to have children. Sorry, sorry, guys. They scream why they don't have children. It's like, really? $15 an hour is apparently an impossible fucking thing. Being able making enough money to be able to afford a two-room flat. I'm not talking like two-room flat without government support. This is apparently making this money is apparently killing the economy. Really? Is that really what these people are thinking? Like, how fucking stupid are you? Maybe just the situation where the landlords consider it okay, and the banks who give those landlords these fucking crazy loans for these crazy fucking flat buys. Maybe we should really don't look at the wage, but look at the rents that people are paying. Oh yeah, but wait a minute, that's an open market, isn't it? That's an open market to fuck every teenager in a developed world. That's a world. It's not even developed world in the all of the world. Make sure that nobody under the age of 50 can afford to rent like anything. Not only top like 10%, 15%, or top 20%, let's say, in Germany, who can afford to really rent a one bedroom apartment without government assistance. And people tell me, how dare you be a communist? Who should I care about? Should I care about the people? I mean, I'm a bit of a, sociopath. But should I really care about the guys that I meet on the stairs every day outside my wall, of my wohnung, my outside my flat? I don't know. Should I care about those kids we were giggling about, buying a beer for his girlfriend or they were buying cola for himself? Like, should I care about them? Who should I care about? Should I care about my neighbor? Should I not care about my neighbors? Where family, where the husband could not afford to go to work, because if he were to go to work, they would lose so many benefits that his wage would not cover that. Who should I care about? Should I care about some fucking twat who's making $1 million, who's making and he cannot pay? Who should I care about? Should I care about my community? Like the people that I see in the morning who say hello to me, who ask how I'm doing, 20-second conversation in the elevator, or who should I care about? I don't know. I don't fucking know. You guys are fucking broken. You guys are fucking retarded imbeciles. I'm sorry. I can't say anything else about these people. Alright, and they complain about, oh, they want to tax us too much. And by the way, can I tell you, there's a part somewhere where I missed somewhere where he said, hmm, okay, cool. Let me check. Somewhere he said, or did we remove that? Oh yes, because I covered that, and yes, and the average US job pays more than an average German job. So clearly, free market policies won't back it better than top-down socialism if you give people freedom to make their own decisions. And yet this dumb motherfucker is actually complaining about people wanting a 15 bucks job? Huh? And as to America, yeah, here's a yeah, so we talked about the systems. Yeah, there are a couple more variations. Yeah, we can't really explain this to the American MBAs. Yeah, okay, cool. They're stupid. Stupid. Just fucking stupid. But as to American wages, if they're so good, then why the fuck are we discussing the minimum, the $15 minimum wage? As if it's a disaster to the economy. Oh, sorry, I forgot. You're American. Yeah, I forgot, guys. You're American. I guess that's all I've got to say. Anyways, I'm out. I have a good